Let's queer up trans rights. A Missouri father emotionally defends his transgender son against lawmakers. As the Missouri state legislature gathered to discuss a series of anti-LGBTQ plus bills, a parent of transgender child made a heartfelt plea, urging the government to just leave them alone. Rabbi Daniel Bogard passionately addressed the legislative proceedings, particularly focusing on a bill that seeks to restrict transgender individuals from using bathrooms aligning with their gender identity. Bogard, whose 10-year-old son is transgendered, expressed frustration at having to, quote, fight so that the son can go and poop at school without being bothered, end of quote. In a video shared on Threads by the Recount, Bogard emphasized the ease of being a parent to a transgender's child, highlighting that the real challenge lies in the government's interference. He's lamented that the continuous struggle for his son's basic human dignity and the recurring need to confront legislative hurdles. Bogard shed light on the heart of the ongoing anti-trans panic through a conversation with his son. The father said his son does not want to go to the men's room because he does not want everyone to know what his private parts look like. And no, Bogard just can't stop thinking about it. He asked why people think that they have the right to know what children's privates look like. If kids are going into the bathroom and people are seeing their genitals, that's a problem. Currently, Missouri faces the advancement of 28 anti-LGBTQ plus bills, all introduced in the early weeks of 2024.
The only hard part of having a trans kid has been this sense that my government just won't leave us alone. That we have to come back here again and again and fight just for his basic human dignity, just fight so that he can go and poop at school without being bothered. I asked him about this bill. I don't bring him on testimony days because there's too many terrible things about trans people said I don't want him to hear. I asked him about this bill, and what he said to me, because I always encourage him to use the women's restrooms in public because men's restrooms are gross, and he's still 10 years old, right? And what he tells me is, Dad, I don't want to go there because I don't want everyone to know what my private parts look like. And it just has stuck with me how much of this is about feeling like folks have some right to know what children's privates look like.
This breaks my heart. I mean, I'm so close to this story in the sense that, like, when I was growing up, adults would come up to me and ask if I was a boy or a girl. And I was 7 and 8. And these were 40-year-old people talking about my gender to me, which I didn't even know about. So it's a scary thing. This isn't the adults look at this matter like it's from their side and their eyesight, but people forget to look at these issues from the eyes of a child who's 10 years old. He knows he's a boy. That's all that should matter. And adults are really, really getting in, and Republicans and legislators are really just getting into the private lives of families. Mm-hmm. And it should not be allowed.
It's once again scapegoating of an entire minority population just for political gain. I mean, this is not unlike the 15 states constitutional amendment to ban gay marriage that showed up suddenly in 2004 when George W. Bush is getting ready for election for a second term. This is something to drive people to the votes. It is something to demonstrate how conservative they are and how politically, adhere to the values of these people by basically bashing something that they do not know and also denigrating them by saying that, these people are transgender ideology. There's no such thing as transgender ideology. There's no such thing as trans ideology. No. Someone's gender identity is not a bloody ideology. Ideology can change. Ideology evolve. You don't get You don't get to evolve someone else's gender identity. Thank you very much.
And you don't get to stop someone else's gender identity.
Right. Or you don't get to impose.
That's the word. Yeah.
You don't get to impose gender on somebody else. And so what I found the bright spot of this story was, how much did you love the dad? I loved him. I loved him so much for just standing there and being articulate and not being emotional. And then also, did you notice in the video how the elected officials and the city councilor at the state legislature, they were just mostly a bunch of just white cisgender men just sitting back and just, they were putting in the time and just listening to him because he had the right to speak. But it was hard to imagine that people were really feeling the emotion that this man felt for his child.
He is heard, but he is not listened to.
Yeah.
He is, that's the whole thing.
And I can tell you as like, I mean, I'm very similar to his son in the sense that like, I'm like, I guess like quote unquote pre-transition, even though I'm non-binary, so I don't think there's ever going to be a post-transition for me, but you know, in the sense that like I haven't started HRT yet, but you know, because I outwardly like dress extremely masculine and sometimes like I literally look sometimes like a man, I literally cannot go to the bathroom. I get scared every time I go to the bathroom because if I go to the men's bathroom, they're like, what are you doing here? I remember like this one guy was like, I think you're in the wrong bathroom. I'm like, I think you're in the wrong bathroom. Good. And like, and then in the other bathroom, I went to the women's bathroom and then like, and the lady said this in Spanish and I'm like, does she not know I'm Latin? But she was like, oh, I can't believe they let men in the bathroom now. And I was just like, I'm like, what bathroom do I use? What bathroom do you want me to just go to a bush? That's like the OG gender neutral bathroom, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
And like I remember like going to like specific conferences, like the Creating Change conference. It's gender neutral bathrooms.
Right.
There's no woman, men, like people just use the bathroom. I'm literally having a conversation with someone who's a different gender than me. We're entering the same bathroom, like just talking. We pee, we do our thing, and then we leave. That's all you do in a bathroom. That's all you do in a bathroom. What else are you gonna do in a bathroom?
Well, there's a lot of things we can say, honey. But the thing is, the obsession with children's genitals, or obsession of other people's genitals, is so concerning. It's like, you know, just why are you middle-aged cisgender white men so obsessed about other children's genitals?
Here's the thing, because it's also like because like of the whole like and actually like let's go back to the history of why we have different like gendered bathrooms. It's because men didn't want women in their bathroom. It was a separatist movement like that was basically like very sexist actually.
Totally.
Extremely sexist. And not only that, but now they're upholding it so that they prevent heterosexual sex from being in the bathroom. I'm sorry, but is somebody gonna like be like, there's a woman's bathroom, I'm not gonna enter it so I don't have sex? Like like people aren't gonna do that. Like they're gonna do it regardless.
Yeah. I love, you know, I want to disagree with you on when you said this story makes you very sad. This story fills my heart with happiness because of the rabbi dad.
Well, it does.
Father of the year. Because these things,
if we had more parents like
bills,
that.
These bills are being introduced from coast to almost the other coast. But we don't see Rabbi Dad every day. So this story really made me happy. I love that he's sticking up for his dad. I've said this before that the genitalia that all these people get up in arms about, they're reducing it to the most basic, the most base, the most unimportant part of the life experience. We all go to the bathroom. And we're all, you know, as you said, thank you for the evolution on. No, and I'm not being snarky when I say it.
It's
for
true.
that lesson.
And the OG bathroom was a tree.
Yeah.
A gender neutral tree.
And look, I have to apologize to some trees in Hagen Park after I've left the drive for the night. But seriously though, it's where we feel the most vulnerable. We're exposed, and I think that's easy for haters to just pick on that one thing. They don't look at our intelligence, our abilities, or our disabilities, or the things that make us unique. Because I now have enough trans friends to say, you're not unique and you're not unique.
I am.
You are not. No, you are part of our community. And people, and you're not being embraced, and that makes me sad.
Right. No, and that's what I meant. Like I love when I see parents like this Rabbi Dad, sticking up for his son. That's heartwarming, and I love that. And I have parents like that, and I have since the beginning. So I never had to deal with the other. But what breaks my heart is just a 10-year-old child having to go through these feelings and not having a community support them, and only seeing their parents support them. That's what breaks my heart.
But he's got that support at home.
And
that child is better for it.
Yeah.
And we all, as a community, are absolutely better for it. So thank you very much, Rabbi Dad.
Rabbi Dad.